What's going on, Met fans? We are back with another live watch party. It's been a minute. The West Coast trip, these games are just too damn long and too damn late. We split it with the Dodgers. Currently bottom 5 with the Rockies up 1-0 damn. The Mets continue to struggle with runners in scoring position. It's been something that's been just a disaster to start the season. The Mets came into today hitting 218, second worst in Major League Baseball when it comes to runners in scoring position. And that's why I'm shocked to see their record, because usually it correlates, not these Mets because of what the pitchers have done. I mean, look at Senga today. Right now, he's got 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Probably will go 5, give up 1 run. And the Mets have already left 5 guys in scoring position. So that's where we're at. Forgive me, I'm a little under the weather.
Yeah, me too, Ray. You're good. And 13 leaving on base yesterday against the Dodgers. It just continues to add up. 5 through the first 3 innings today. It's been a problem. And if this problem continues, it does fall on Endy Chavez. It does fall on the hitting coach. And, we can only say it for so long. The Mets are winning games. Everything's good. But this can't continue into the second half, obviously. So, yeah, they got to figure it out. They need that one big hit, and they definitely need it today, down 1-0 against the Rockies team that they should really be sweeping. So remains to be seen, but they're down 1-0 right now.
Yeah, this is supposed to be one of those games where, as I'm trying to put us live on Instagram really quick.
Yep.
One of these games you have to, the sweep just has to come. Just has to. The Phillies done it. What are they? What were they? 7-0?
Yeah. They've been, up and down too. They're 4-4 right now against the Pirates. You got to win those games, and anyone who saw the Braves yesterday, they were up 6-0, 9-3, 10-4.
I thought that he did a great job.
Excuse me. And then they lose 11-10 in the 9th. That's brutal. That is brutal. That's a type of loss that ends your season if you're the Atlanta Braves. So, hopefully we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for our sake. But how about our boy Luzardo, who everybody wanted this last offseason? He's got 20 earned runs over his last 2 starts, going, I believe, 6 1/3 or something like that. Got absolutely shellacked again. I mean, this guy, he was really good to start off for them, but he's been atrocious, to say the least, as of late.
Could have traded for him, too. And people were saying, oh, would Miami trade within their division? Clearly they did. And, Marte, I think, kind of goes into this equation, too, because he's been playing well. 3 for 4 yesterday, has a hit today. Yep. Those are the guys that we would have traded Luzardo for, maybe a Beatty, obviously. But looking back at it, I think the Mets, I don't know. I think Marte is going to give you value, and we could talk about that, whatever you think. But, yeah, Marte is slept on time and time again.
Also, and this is something we spoke about in Spaces earlier, dude. And I'm not trying to make this a negative fest, but entering today, Jeff McNeil hitting 237, another pop out, which I feel like I say every single time in a big spot. He's hitting around 200 in the month of May and June combined. He had that one series he came back in Washington where he lit it up. He was like 5 for 15 in the month of April, late April. Since then, he has stunk. And it's the same old dog and pony show. It's getting a little old. It just is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not going to have any power and hit 230, I don't care how versatile you are. I just don't.
Well, you were saying it, Ray, in the Spaces too. Like McNeil gets these singles and stuff like he did today, which is great. And that's what you were saying. You want McNeil to just be the version of himself. Don't try to be this power hitter. Don't try to change your approach. And I hope
we spoke about it before the season started, Dan.
Yeah.
He said he's going to try to lift the ball more. I was like, was that a joke?
Right. Makes no sense. So
as Senga gets out of it, as he always does. Let's take a quick peek while we're in intermission. Entering today in the month of June, and obviously it's only the LA series. What is McNeil right now? 0 for 2?
Today?
Yeah.
He has a hit.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
so now he's hitting 500. I'll give him that then. Let's leave it at that. Let's see. So McNeil today is 1 for 2. So that means he's 4 for his last 17 in the month of June, and in the month of May, he was 14 of 63 with a whopping 222 average and a 779 OPS. Just
It's not going to win. It's not.
great.
It's not winning baseball. And I go back to Marte again because since May 1st, he's been 310, 308 just coming into today. So
and that's your guy. You've called that for a while. I got to give you credit there. I was ready to jump off that Marte bandwagon, right at the start of the season.
I just think experience, and it plays into McNeil's case too. Like, you have the experience. We trust you. We're giving you these starts. But if you're not making the most of it, that experience was supposed to get you over the hump. And if it's not, then the Mets have to find ways to either trade Jeff McNeil or put him onto the bench. And I don't think they want to do that.
I want to quickly announce to everybody who's in here. Oh, I'm shocked how many people are in here. Appreciate you guys. We are running over on Instagram an exclusive giveaway. It is an autograph Ronnie Mauricio rookie card. Only on Instagram. You got to do like two things. Follow us and one other account. That's pretty much it. If you want to check it out, the winner will be called tonight following tonight's game. I have the card. I thought I had it on my desk. Apparently, I don't. Oh, I do. Oh, you know what card's sitting on my desk? Check that out. The pink Senga rookie, huh? But that card will be called today. So it's just a way we can get back to you guys. It's exclusively over on Instagram. Same as everywhere at MetcastPod. Let's get to some of these comments. Nick, I think, is right in line with me as Pete's up at bat. Getting real tired of Jeff McNeil. When's the last time he had a clutch hit? Probably 2022 when he got paid. Klub says we aren't going to tolerate a loss in this series. Need a sweep. I agree.
Yep.
Kurt says a bunch of guys that aren't very good. I wouldn't say that. They did put up 20 in Washington that one game.
Real quick on that point, like
Sure.
you're hearing a lot of that with Mauricio starting off 0 for 10. Beatty gets a lot of shrapnel just because he's Brett Beatty, and then Vientos obviously can't really see the field and he's hurt, which is unfortunate. But and Acuna in the mix too. A lot of these guys, like I kind of get where Kurt's coming from. I've been seeing it a lot where people are just saying, "Oh, these guys are busts." Like definitively, I still think the jury's not out. And look at someone we brought him up, Jarren Duran, and he is the center field.
I would trade the effing farm for him.
Jeff Passan said Cedric Mullins needs to be the guy. Whoever you think the center field.
John Heyman had a thing with the Mets and Duran. Duran's a hell of a player, man.
Yeah,
hell of a player. 28 years old.
But that's a guy who sprouted
a while, right?
Sprouted very late. Came into the big leagues at 24. Didn't really hit his stride till 26. And people getting on Brett Beatty at 25. It's like you got to give it that extra year. You just do.
So Durant is. This is his. He's got a club option next year for $8 million. So you're pretty much getting 1.5 years. He would slide right in. Excuse me. He would slide right in over. I'm wolfing down ginger ale, and I don't drink soda because of this thing that I got going on. But I think he would fit in perfect here. Cedric Mullins would too, but Duran's more of a pure hitter to me. Mullins is a power guy. I like Tyron Taylor, and it's not a shot at Tyron Taylor, but let's be honest. He's the best, one of the best fourth outfielders in baseball, and that's what he should be. Doesn't have a lot of pop. 1 home run on the season. I believe Mullins has 10 already. So he's on pace to have a 30 home run season, right around there in the high 20s. As there you go. McNeil gets a walk. Now we got first and second, no outs. We are going again to have shots at runners in scoring position. Let's see if we can have this come through. Let's get some more of these comments, and then we'll continue the conversation. Dan and I are kind of lined up. We're going to the mound visits right now. If you guys want to try to line up with us, hit pause so that way you're watching live with us. Kai says, just saw Manaea pitch rehab assignment at Willington. Got touched up for 4 runs, but great to see him out there. Let's go, Mets. Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all.
Thank you for that. Going grassroots and getting, it's awesome. But yeah, Manaea will be back, and Montas has looked awful too.
Yeah, he's got like a 15 ERA.
Geez, 4 home runs he's let up.
Remember, they both didn't have any spring training. So I wonder if it's going to take a while. I also, something we could touch on, the Lindor broken toe. I mean, if he's going to miss the next few games, you might as well put him on the IL. And shout out to one of the prospects that you and I always frequently talk about, and I love to bring him up. I think he'll be one of the next Mets to be called up if there's an injury in the outfield. Drew Gilbert tonight with the monster grand slam down in the minors in AAA. He hasn't been doing too well, but he's been coming around, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's someone that goes into this conversation. We're not talking about Duran. We're not talking about Cedric Mullins. If we didn't think that Tyrone Taylor wasn't, a formidable guy. And listen, I think he's great. He hits the ball extremely hard. He hit the ball very hard tonight, got robbed. Like, he is a perfect fourth outfielder for New York Mets. Other than that, you do maybe need to address, unless we believe that Jose Siri is going to come back and be this postseason hero for the Mets, then maybe you do need to address center field. And it could be Drew Gilbert. I think that's probably the better course of action than having to trade guys for a Jarren Duran. As crazy as that sounds, I think it's just
Stearns needs to identify who he's going to keep. We have so many guys. You have this kid Thornton now, the lefty, not a crazy hard thrower. He looks like he picked up a mile or two, but another prospect for the Mets down in Double-A. 30 innings pitched. I believe he's given up 4 runs, a ton of strikeouts, a low 2 ERA. Another guy dominating down on the farm. Brandon Sproat's had a couple solid starts. I know a lot of people are starting to soften on Sproat, but this is what David Stearns called for. Everybody wanted Sproat to be up at the major leagues last year, and Stearns wanted him to have a little adversity as Tyrone Taylor takes strike 1.
So what you said about John Harper, he softened up a little bit. He's a traitor. I get it.
My boy John, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, when the changeup too is getting into the mix for a guy like Sproat, where it's not as effective anymore, and with the fastball coupled with that, listen, you're the number 2 prospect in the system. You were number 1. Now you're number 2, but that's still high praise for a guy as Taylor fouls it away. And I 1 and 2.
Pause for a second.
Yeah, it's just something's not right with Brandon Sproat.
You know what? Maybe they need to change his arm angle, a grip, learn a new pitch. Look at what Clay Holmes did this year. He learned the V change on the fly, something he was messing around with. Sometimes guys could throw hard, but I'd rather have them throw a 2-seamer at 96 as Taylor takes it inside. I'd rather throw him a 2-seamer at 96 with crazy movement than a flat 99. I mean, this is year 2 now of us watching Ryan Stanek throw 100 miles an hour and get taken deep constantly because it's flat as the 2-2. Inside, 3-2. Do you say
hit him?
No, I'm just messing with you.
I think it hit him.
Oh, let's see. I have the game on in my ear, so if you guys want to try to line up with us.
Saying he leaned into it. That's hilarious.
Nope. It hit him. Let's see.
Ooh. Yeah, a little bit.
It did hit him.
It's not like Conforto leaning into a pitch for the OGs out there.
All right, here we go. Brett the Hitman Beatty. New number. Fastball was, oh my gosh, that was 3 inches off. Did you see, if you guys want to follow a great account over on X, MLB Umpire Auditor, shout out, I forgot who it was, a new record was set, 6.67 inches. A strike was called to a guy on the A's, I think it was. I'm going to see if I can pull it up really quick. But a pitch, Laz Diaz, 6.67 inches off the plate, and it was called a strike. It was outside. It was literally in the other batter box.
Jeez.
1-1 to Beatty. Foul tips it right into the mitt. Beatty looks like he's starting to pull off a little bit. I hope he's not getting too pull happy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. Like what I said, 216 entering the night, 27th in MLB. I was told it was 28th. Close, 0 for 5 tonight. Probably after tonight, it will be 28th.
Yeah, he's got to start hitting. One of these guys has to take a
But
spot.
then, you know what's good about all this, man? As we see the 1-2.
That's BS.
Oh, that's outside.
That's low and
Come
outside.
on, it's not even close. Mendoza's got to get thrown out of one of these games. He sits there and barks, get thrown out.
Yeah.
Have your player. That's complete bull crap. Those are 2 pitches that were more than 2 inches off the plate.
That's low and
It's not
outside.
even close.
It's crazy.
Even Hernandez is like, and he's usually gives the umpire the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
Francisco Alvarez comes up with his 208 average. If he fails, he'll be exactly at 200. I'll take a sac fly here.
It's like, come on, can they get a big hit?
Well, it's hard, Dan, also, when you have pitches that are 4 inches off the plate.
I know.
2 strikes right there. The first strike was a strike. I mean, the second one where he foul tipped it, but strike 1 and strike 3. And I'm not one to complain about the umpires. I'm really not.
It's egregious. It's egregious, guys. You know it. We know it.
Shout out to Manfred. Hopefully he doesn't screw this up, bring in ABS.
Thank God.
Good one, Alvarez from Bird. And that slider was definitely a strike, and it could throw the ball. This is great.
Can't make it up.
This is great.
Can't make it up. It's like, come on.
Man.
Get it
3-1.
right.
Alvarez is going to swing for the hills. He hasn't had a home run since Washington. Told you. Saw that coming from a mile away. I don't believe Alvarez has had a home run since his first series back in Washington in the first week of May.
Come on, Mets.
Alvarez is going to be one of the great experiments in baseball. I don't feel good about this. 3-2 from Al. Swings at a slider that had the whole entire plate trying to hit a home run. See, when Alvarez is right and going to the opposite field, he goes with it right there. He missed that bad. Bro, look where his foot is. Look where his foot is.
He's trying to pull it. This Mauricio's big moment here. It really is.
7 tonight against the Colorado Rockies, who threw a starting pitcher who's got a 9 ERA.
Yeah, sent to Zella. He was 1-10. It's so crazy. This is the Rockies bullpen that is, god awful. It's just, come on, Marie. Yeah, 2 backdoor sliders, man. 0-2 hole. The Colorado faithful getting on their feet here in Coors.
The Mets trying to go 0 for 10 the first 6, and Mauricio easily goes down. My gosh. Did that hit the other batter's box?
I don't know. Maybe. There's a chance.
0 for 10 today. Mauricio
needs more development. That is for sure. They've just been throwing him junk, and he has not been able to hit it. Usually you see a progression throughout big league careers as they get in. They get into the league, throw them straight fastballs. Once they prove they can hit it, all right, then comes the secondary stuff. And he hasn't even proved to hit that. So, that's what I'm saying. I think just more development. Same thing with Acuna, same thing with Mauricio. Beatty is fine. He is a big league player. Vientos is a big league player. But there is
the issue is the bottom 4 in this lineup haven't hit a lick in the month of May. Beatty's been ice cold for 2 weeks now. Not saying he's not a big league player. I'm not saying that. When you think about this right now, who are you most confident to get a hit? After your front 4, McNeil's been awful at runners in scoring position. Tyron Taylor has not been good. Beatty hasn't gotten a hit in 2 weeks. Alvarez is now hitting 200 runners in scoring position. And Mauricio's 0 for 12. 0 for 12 since he's been called up. So your bottom 5 in the order are not good right now. Not saying they can't be good eventually, but the reason why I'm glad Mauricio's up here now, we're watching Beatty now. If we need to make moves at the deadline, you've seen these guys for a month already, 2 months, 3 months. So there is no, oh, we're going to bring them up. We're going to see how they're going. If they're not hitting, you need to get their replacement.
I agree. I agree. Now, replacement can mean, two different things. I think replacement means send them down and then have someone come up. But that's kind of where we're at, where we
could be.
I just don't know who that next. Maybe it's Jet Williams is the guy that we're like, all right, let's see what we got with Jet Williams and Drew Gilbert, as you talk about. Yeah, there has to be someone. At this point.
Enough with the Jared Young types, by the way.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Guys, if you're watching this over on Facebook or on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, hanging out during the watch party it's over 500 people in here. I'm a little shocked on a Friday night. No one's got lives except for us Met fans hanging out. Just give us a thumbs up if you could. The best way to support the channel.
Do you like these new Rockies jerseys, Ray?
Say it again?
Do you like these new Rockies jerseys? They're City Connect.
I always liked the Rockies jerseys. When I was growing up, back in the heyday, MLB never licensed any of their products. So when you played video games, there was always that one West team that was purple. And I always used them because I thought of the Rockies. Well, I don't know what the name of that game was. I'm sure Klub and some of the old heads in here with me will know. But if you remember any of those games, let me know. Those were the you-know-whats. Rockies have way too good jerseys to suck the way they suck.
Good fan turnout, too. You wouldn't think they're sucking as much as they are. It's not like Miami where no one's going to these games. It's like, yeah, look at that. They're showing that place is packed.
Well, hit pause for a sec. So I'm still in commercial.
Yep.
I'll let you know when I'm back from commercial.
Yeah, you don't want to watch what's going on anyway. Oh.
Why am I that far behind? I'm still in commercial. Here, let me back out and come back in. That was weird.
Yeah, Soto made a nice play in the gap.
All right, I'm watching the 0-0 right now.
Of the first at bat or second?
Second.
Yeah, okay.
Hunter Goodman, who's hitting 283, would be our second highest average player right now, behind Alonso. Now you guys are seeing all the people, and will not name names, Judas and Clark, who wanted to trade Francisco Lindor last year. How's it looking right now? 105 mile an hour out for Alvarez, second best in the game. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Madeline, Rockies suck, but we can't score. Over 10 with runners in scoring position. You have to try to do that against the Rockies. The guy's got a 9 ERA, Dan.
I know. It's not good.
And the Mets deserves better. Give me a break.
They can't lose a game. They can't.
I mean, the starter of the All-Star game.
Yeah. Want to get your opinion on that. So I'd say Pete definitely going to make the All-Star team. Lindor, hopefully pending injury, makes the All-Star.
I don't know if Lindor is a starter. The kid in Arizona is a monster.
Carroll, yeah.
He'll be on the roster.
Right, yeah, All-Stars. Peterson or Clay Holmes has a chance, I would say. Reed Garrett has a chance. Kodai Senga clearly.
I think it's going to be Senga, Diaz, Alonso, Lindor.
Diaz too, right? And you don't think Soto gets in because of the popularity and all that?
He might get dragged in by the vote because the Mets are really going to be pushing these all-star ballots at the games.
Right.
So I could see that. KG says, Beatty should have been sent back down after last game. Let's look at Brett Beatty's game log while we have a sec. I'm sorry, guys. I am sick.
Yep.
All right. So, oh my gosh. Okay. Talk about a tale of 2 months so far. And it's only, this is game 5. Beatty's what, 0 for 2 today?
No.
So Beatty's 2 for his last 17. Hitting 125.
2 for 17. That's 118 average.
Okay. I see 133 coming into today.
So it's gone down. Yeah, I mean that's bad. But
You're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So he's 4 for his last 25. Beatty gets hits in bunches. He never just gets one. I'm looking 0 for 2, 0 for 2, 1. Okay, 1 for 4, 0 for 2, 0 for 2, 2 for 4, 2 for 4, 3 for 3. Then you have 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 2 for 4, 0 for 3. So he gets hits in bunches. But you got to also give Beatty a little chance here. You got to give him run. You got to give him a chance to make adjustments. You can't just say if you're not hitting, you're done.
Yeah.
Am I whispering, Dan?
I don't think so.
Kev says, Metcast, you're whispering like your parents are in bed. You're trying not to wake them up. My daughter, who's 2, is right above my room. And it's soundproofed, but I still get spooked. If I wake her up, I wake my wife up, which means you guys all get waken up.
Can't have that. Yeah, can't have
Means
that.
the stream ends.
Yeah.
Madeline's asking, how's Winker doing? Rehabbing. Is he rehabbing yet?
I don't think so. I don't think he is.
Oh, Dan's whispering, not me.
I'm whispering. It might be my mic. Sorry, guys.
Sometimes you're like this. Maybe Dan's just got a really deep voice.
Yeah, I'll be better for you guys back at home. Don't worry. I'm sorry. We're all under the weather, they say. Yeah, I don't think Winker is rehabbing yet. But Mania is, as we mentioned before. So that's someone.
So is Montas.
So yeah, there's reinforcements coming. And right now you don't really need another lefty bat, too. I think about that too with, for the first time, we talked about this on Spaces a couple of days ago, like growing up, at least for me, it was always, the Mets don't really have that left-handed bat. And then it became, once the DH was implemented, the Mets could never really get the left-handed DH. And now we have too many lefties you could make the argument for with Nimmo, Winker, Soto, or Beatty.
I get rid of Winker, sorry.
But yeah, you've been on that for a while. So better than Jock Peterson, but I hear you.
My God, what is he hitting?
Dude, if it's under 100, so his
131.
Yeah, 130.
He's a guy I would not be shocked if he did juice.
507.
Honest. He was like a 240, 240. All of a sudden he's 280 and 30. Now he's back down to 1 something.
Senga checks over on McMahon at first.
And the 1-2. Oh, he went. Sit down. Nope.
Me.
Am I ahead of you?
All good. That was a nasty pitch. What the
How about that throw out by Alvarez earlier? He picked that ball right out of the dirt.
Big league play. It's big, that's you get reminded sometimes. It really is special. Baseball is just such a beautiful game. Really is.
It's more beautiful when you don't lose to the Rockies. That place is packed. You know what? I bet there's a lot. I know a lot of New Yorkers live in Colorado. Bet you there's a lot of Mets fans. Look behind the plate. Yeah, look at all the Mets hats.
And move there,
On the
probably. Yeah.
right side as a pop fly, and nobody wants it. Looks like Pete lost a little weight
Yeah.
compared to
Definitely.
last year.
Sure. He's made some great defensive plays. Had one earlier in the game.
As Senga reaches his career high in pitches.
Really, ever since the Subway Series, he's been a lot better. With those throws, and I get he had the one he also messed up, but he's been a lot better. Over the past couple weeks. Again, he's not going to win a Gold Glove. I was wrong. We get things wrong here on Metcast, but
Just Dan.
we believe in our players too. And I think when it's all said and done, I truly believe in my heart. Like when Pete retires, it'll be with the Mets. He's going to be a Met forever, but he'll have a Gold Glove too. I do think eventually he'll get his flowers. Once Freeman's out of the league and Olsen, like eventually there'll be a window for him.
Fly ball, deep right. Soto on the track, and he's got room. Senga's going to get the L, allowing 1 run over 6.
Feels like DeGrom.
Hold on. Here's our shot, top of the lineup. Right?
How many pitches was he at? Do we know? Let's see. 108. So yeah, he's done.
That was 109.
Yeah. So he's done for the night.
Remember everyone complaining that he wasn't throwing a lot of pitches?
Remember, yeah. That's a great point too, right? Because we've seen it with Peterson going 7. We've seen Clay Holmes for a while. Canning's turned a corner. Like the Mets are going deeper into these games, and that's what we were trying to tell people. Like, you're not going to have that happen in April and May. You don't want that to happen in April and May if you're Mendy sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, Senga, go give me 7-8 innings." Like that's not happening.
So here's Senga's line today. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, 109 pitches. 67 of those for strikes as his ERA climbs to a 1.72.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We're looking at an ace, guys. We knew it all along. We're happy.
I feel like we're the only ones because everybody. Oh, he's not an ace. He's an okay number 2, really a number 3.
That's the key point. I think a lot of people looked at Manaea and said, "All right, he's the ace of this team," which I get, of course. Tribal chief and coming back and taking less money and all that, but or whatever he did. And it was Severino took less money, but there was teams that wanted Manaea, and he definitely chose the Mets. And I think a lot of these guys, the success of last year was a big reason that we saw Stanek come back. That's all he could talk about was the culture in the clubhouse, and definitely for Winker, definitely for Pete. So if you look at the upcoming schedule,
we spoke about that earlier in your space today. I said, in my mind, Manaea would be an unbelievable number 3 and a solid number 2.
Hey, go get an ace.
Right. If you don't, maybe one of these guys turns into it. Jonah Tung's a little far away from me. I got to see more, but maybe a Sproat or a Nolan McLean actually blossom into what we're thinking they're going to.
And McLean, we'll see what happens. They're talking about the bullpen for him, which it's understandable. I think
really.
Yeah, and same thing with Tidwell too. I think we're going to see
Tidwell makes more sense to me.
Again, I like McLean as a starter, but there's a real back end of the bullpen need. Thinking about next year and thinking about names that we have where the Drew Smiths, I think, are going to be the guys that are eating the 6th inning. You're still going to need those back end guys. And if you had told me Tidwell, McLean, like it's pretty good. Even Sproat, I coming out of the bullpen in the playoffs or something like that to kind of start the youth movement in the bullpen.
I'd be very upset if all of them end up in the pen.
Me too. No, me too. That's why I think
McLean's got to be a starter.
That's fair.
I mean, look at the wiffle ball he throws. It's in the he's got a 70 with a 70 slider he throws.
Yeah. No, it's an option for him. He definitely could do both. Tong definitely a starter. Know if we're leaving anyone out, like a Nate Dom. We're still waiting to see these guys in the big leagues, but they're all bullpen pieces, really.
Just posting that Senga graphic. I mean, Senga right now has got to be the star in the All-Star game. 2-2 to Nimmo. He's got to get on here. Almost a pitch clock violation. Ground ball up the middle, slow roller to shortstop, easy flip to first for the first out. Would you think the Mets should consider putting somebody else? Oh my gosh, look how awful that strike 3 call was to Beatty.
Awful.
And Mauricio, my God. I don't know what he's doing.
Awful.
Do you dare try putting I know Acuna can't get on, but when he does, he's electric. Do you try him in the one hole? The guy will extend the lineup somewhere. You can't have 5 through 9 just be awful.
I know.
Maybe lead off Marte and have Nimmo be second. That's what I would do. Nimmo was killing it in the 2-hole. Why mess around with that?
Yeah, I'd put Nimmo up there. He's been leading off. I'd put him in the 2-hole too, 150%. I'd also consider batting Acuna leadoff and Mauricio second, just because, like, you know, for one game. I think eventually, like, once Lindor's back, it's going to be clear he's the leadoff guy. But if you have a game or two to experiment here as Marte gets a single up the middle, there are definitely avenues.
Perfect.
I think Mauricio is the perfect 2-hole hitter when he gets it going. And everyone's saying, Dan, you're crazy. He's 0 for 10. He's 0 for 11. He doesn't have a big league hit. Guys, like, we got to get that narrative out of our heads, like, right away. Like, he might not hit for a while. He might go 0 for 25 to begin his big league. Like, I don't really care. You know, I think at the end of the day, we've made it clear he is going to be here for a while. And Mets would have traded him already. Maybe you're right, Ray. They're putting him out there for a month to showcase him. But if you really ask me who they're trading, it's Acuna. I just don't see.
Dan, you just got to give me a few minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, do your thing, Ray. We'll hold it down. You know, look at that, a little solo show here. But yeah, man, checks over at first. 0-1 count, 1-0 game. Top 7 for the Mets. Listen, you don't want to lose a game to the Rockies. Mets, you know, I think we all can live with a loss to the Rockies, right? Not 2, not 3. The Yankees lost to this team. Yankees lost to the White Sox last year. Not the same thing, but in a way it is. So, you know, hopefully a golden opportunity here. Maybe they send Marte at first, 1-1 count to Soto down and in for a ball, 2-1. Let's get to some of these comments too. I can't bring them up like Ray can, but I'm just reading them. CJ, I love the positivity, Dan, but this is not a playoff roster at this point. Yeah, I know. It feels that way. But then you know, you look at the rest of the division, you look at the rest of baseball, the ups and the downs. Like, this Mets team has built themselves a cushion. I always remind myself of that. Like, last year, clearly every game was a must win by June 1st. Every game was circled on the calendar as the Mets have to win these series. And they did. They did a great job. But now you have that cushion, and you're asking yourself, are the Mets getting too complacent? I don't think that's the case, but that's been brought up a couple times where the Mets take 2 out of 3 in a series, and then, they should have swept the series as Soto single up the middle. So the Mets hopefully getting something going here. But again, the runners in scoring position leads you to believe that this wouldn't be a successful playoff team. I agree. But, you know, you just got to believe. I hate that it sounds cliche. It sounds cringe. It sounds old school. It's how the 1969 Mets won. You know, that's how they went from 7 years of the worst team God's ever seen to being world champions. Like, this Mets team, in a lot of ways, you know, building 2022, the downs of 23, the highs of 24. You know, at the end of the day, it's just sustained winning. I think getting to the playoffs, at least for me, has been enough. I know that's not enough for everyone, but you still need the pitching rotation in order. You have it with the Mets now, but we're talking about 2015, young studs, flamethrowers, billion-dollar rotation. I know that's not always going to happen, but I think the Mets are lining that up for 2026 in a lot of ways. So you could say that's the year they go all in, but we'll see. I'm kind of just talking here, but you can tell he isn't ready and comfortable. I listened to the Philly and Brave crash outs yesterday. It was incredible. Today it's us. Yeah, it could be karma coming back to bite us, right? Just real quick, too, shout out. I don't know if you guys see the picture behind me, but that's the last game at Shea Stadium. So you see the background of Citi Field there. I got that a couple weeks ago, so we hung it up. But good stuff there. This hitting coach should be fired, KG says. I would never, and it's wrong of me. I don't consider myself, part of the media yet. But I guess you could say that. It would be wrong of me to sit up here and say, I'm going to call for somebody's job. I want this person fired. That is not good karma. As Pete rips a single, going all the way to the wall. It's going to get down for 2. Marte comes around third and scores. Here comes Soto. He's flying around third and he scores. Pete Alonso with a stand-up double. And the Mets now take a 2-1 lead here in Colorado. Top of the 7th, the Mets fans going crazy. You gotta love it. Pete Alonso continuing to do what he does. We're firing out a tweet right now. Go check that out. Dan Bartels 2 on X. Pete Alonso, man, doubles to left center field. He roped it off the bat. We'll get a mile an hour in a second. Mets finally have a lead. They finally get the big hit. And who better than Pete Alonso? Unbelievable. I have Pete Alonso rant coming in 1 second. Just give me one moment. Holy, it gets you fired up. It really does. The Mets finally got the big hit. And again, nobody better than Pete Alonso. Mets now lead the Rockies. I don't even get paid to tweet this stuff, guys. You know it. I just do it for fun. Let's go. And it keeps people updated too. Like for people who are just, on the road checking X, and it's like, you get to see it in real time. So, it's appreciate that. But let's go. Pete Alonso, Ray.
Maybe I was the bad luck. Sorry, guys. My wife is pregnant. Duty calls.
All good. We're in a better mood. The Mets have the lead, so.
All I heard was screaming in my ear. So how did Soto get on?
Soto single.
Okay. So he's got 2 singles today and a walk.
Yep. So, great stuff. Great stuff.
And here comes what Frank likes to call Mick Feeble. Oh my gosh. Of course, the second I look, he swings at a ball that hits the plate.
Listen, that's, a lot of people don't like Jeff McNeil. I get it.
I'm not saying I don't like him. I don't like him in the spot he's put in. Dan, how many years are we going to fight for a 5-hitter in this lineup?
I hear
you. We've been screaming for protection for Pete for forever. We still can't develop that 5-hitter. We were all hoping Vientos would be it this year, but that has not been the scenario.
Nope.
Brazoban looks like he's coming in for the 7th.
And even if we bring in a Duran, Ray, would that be enough for
No, he's not a 5-hitter.
Right. So and McNeil swinging at gobbledygook.
I would at this point put Marte behind Alonso. If Lindor's playing.
I hear you.
At least Marte's been more consistent. 0-2.
His 57 RBIs lead the MLB.
Is that a bloop? No. Attaboy, McNeil. Way to put some power behind it. Mick Feeble. Pete Alonso, number 1 in all MLB, entering the day and still 57 RBIs. I believe he led by 2 coming into the day. Tyron Taylor, 235 on the season. That's the issue. The Mets have too many guys with 600 OPSs in the lineup.
Mm-hmm. They do, and that's been a problem for a good amount of time now too. They got to figure it out, and I think a lot of it is just promotion from within. I keep saying that, but
You
then
got to develop some guys eventually, right, Dan?
yeah,
You hear about how great all these prospects are. One of them's got to blossom into a stud. When's the last guy we brought up that's great? A position player, Alonso?
yeah. I mean, you're
Alvarez was the #1 overall prospect in baseball. The guy's hitting 200.
not wrong.
1-1 to Taylor. Pulls it foul.
And I don't want to be known as the Yankees that can't sit here and develop guys where they're
know.
sitting. Aaron Judge is their only one that's panned out over the past 50 years. It's like, what are we doing? As Taylor golfs one out to left and nice running catch over there, but
You are so far ahead of me.
my back. Hey, it's that Suffolk County, Long Island. Nah, I don't. I don't know what it is. Right? It's Verizon Fios.
I left my hat upstairs. Guys, while we're in commercial break again, if you're enjoying this content, just give us a like. Help support the channel so much. Make sure you give Dan a follow over on X. He's been writing for the Skipper's View, some great articles he's got coming out. I don't always agree with him, but his content is really good. Always tries to take that positive side, Dan. I always call him positive Danny Bartels. And
thank you, Ray.
doing good stuff.
Yeah, the writing's fun. I recommend, in a world we live in today where people don't read, that's number one, and then write. And I just recommend, I remember Tim Kirkjian, just side note here, went to Cooperstown, covered Fred McGriff, Scott Rowland in 23. We talked to Tim Kirkjian of ESPN. He said, everything I learned to do on TV was because I learned to do it with writing and learning to speak and learn, stuff like that. So it's all a work in progress here. What we bring to you on Netcast, it's
For a while, I wrote on this platform until Elon changed X because, guys, I got a little info for you. Doesn't matter you have as many followers as we do on X. You're not getting rich off of X. And it costs a lot of money to have that premium one. We do have the Gold Star if you're a Jets person and like Jets content. We do have JetCast Pod. We are the Gold Star over there. Thank you to Elon. But to write articles on X, you have to have that premium now. So we ended up stop doing that for a while, but that was fun for a while. But I do want to touch on something that I just seen in the comments.
Knicks head coach? Oh, my bad.
No, I feel bad for that guy. That's going to be a tough situation to step into.
Yeah.
I think it won't be successful. I don't know who it is, but it's still tough. Jonah Tung, 49 innings pitched, 2.02 ERA, 83 strikeouts, 102 whip. Don't be surprised by the end of the season if you see him as the new #1 in the Mets system this season. He looks like our friend Keith said, Tim Lincecum. Right over the top, as I select the wrong comment, right over the top. It's how he is. Picked up a few miles an hour. I am stoked for this kid.
Yeah, the release, right over the top like this, and it's unconventional. It gets a lot of swings and misses. And I hope he has a career similar to Tim Lincecum, which would be awesome. I could go down a rabbit hole here because I keep getting into debates with people over, DeGrom stuff. And I just like watching DeGrom. Okay, forget that I want him to be back with the Mets.
I know.
I could put my fandom aside and have a DeGrom conversation because he's been unbelievable this year. And a lot of people say, oh, for him to get into the Hall of Fame, it's a very similar, career that you're comparing to Tim Lincecum. Tim Lincecum was good, but
he was great those first 2 years.
But he fell off. That's the thing. Like at the end of Tim Lincecum's career, he was a nobody.
Former Met.
Well, yeah, some injuries in there too, but he's no DeGrom.
You know what I think happened with him? He was very unconventional. And I'll never forget. They started asking his dad, ground ball, Beatty charges, fires, out. And Ritter's a speedy guy. That's one thing. I know the error yesterday by Beatty, but he is pretty damn sure-handed over there. But I will say this. Lincecum had those injuries. They asked his dad to help out because he's the only guy who could really know his mechanics. And there was nobody in baseball that could figure out his mechanics. And don't forget, he went from throwing 100, then he started throwing 92. And in baseball, you know, that's like our boy KG down there. I feel bad for the Steelers. Like our boy Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers. You think they're winning anything this year?
You know who they play week 1? I know you do, but as that ball's hit,
that's a home run.
Soto, come on.
Oh, Soto, you didn't even need to jump for that.
Brother.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Soto. Did he hurt himself? What the hell?
Taylor's like, what the hell are you jumping for?
He's like, I get paid $2.4 million. I could make that play. You know, what are you talking about? $800 million. No, I'm kidding. You
bro, watch this replay.
Yeah, he didn't have
Why
to.
are you jumping, bro? It did hit the top of the fence. My bad. That's on me.
Did it?
It grazed the top of the fence and deflected back in.
Oh. All right, so we'll get off Soto's case, but that's pretty funny.
That was a lazy pop fly. Welcome to Coors Field.
All right.
Dan, you got this call.
Here we go. Mickey Moniak stepping in, had a solo shot earlier in the 4th or 5th. And Senga going into that point set a Mets record, retiring 7 straight Rockies to begin a game. The last person to do that was Rick Reed in 1998 with 6, excuse me. Moniak snapped Senga's on the 8th as he got to 7, obviously. So
as Atlanta's down 3-0. Let's go.
Here's
I want to see them 20 games out.
Fastball.
Do you know how many Braves fans added me when Acuna came back?
Sure. 2-1 game, 2-2 count. Foul ball. So they show the replay. The Moniak home run snuck that down the right field line. Brazoban making a case for an all-star for the Mets this year. Here's the pitch from the 34-year-old. Taps it away. I got to get back in it's been a minute since I've called a game. I got to get back in my groove. But, you know.
You got to sound like the radio guy. And the pitch.
Yeah.
Just a bit outside. Like, what's that movie with the kid in the arm?
Base it up the I don't know. Base it up the middle, tie game. Oh, Soto with a great throw from right field.
Oh, he said, sits up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Juan Soto.
Soto's like, ba, 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 let's go. Soto's faking injuries out there in right field.
Oh,
I thought Soto sucked that defense. According to every Yankee fan, he's got his a noodle. Look at this. Comes up, firing right on the base. Nice sweeping tag by Mauricio.
So it's the Mickey Moniak game. He has all the Rockies runs today.
A dart.
Yeah, what a strike by Soto.
Love the enthusiastic call by the umpire, too.
Mm-hmm.
I used to umpire Little League, and my wife would laugh. Not that I was with her then, but I think my dad had some old videos. I'd be paying those 5-year-olds like you never seen anything.
You're out of here.
That's right. What'd you say, Blue? Yeah.
How many how many parents of kids would, give you some crap too? I could imagine.
I've thrown out a few kids in my heyday.
That's outside, Blue. Come on. You got glasses, Blue?
Do you think this is Keith's last year?
I do not. I feel like it would be a more known thing. Yeah, I think he's still on the 1-year deals, which, I understand, but
You know what he must pay the taxes on his home, Sag Harbor?
a lot. I could tell
Like,
you,
definitely 30, 40, 50,000.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I live on Eastern Long Island.
Taxes ain't cheap where we're from, that's for sure. But where
Yes.
he's from, different story. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and that commute too. I think about that all the time. Like that
Bro,
hour, 2 hours.
and you're not taking the LIRR.
No.
If he must get to the ballpark. What time you think? 4 o'clock?
Yeah. I'd say
He's
4.
avoiding most of the rush hour. Bro, Mauricio, I'm not kidding you. He looks like he'd be an amazing shortstop. Too bad he can't hit.
Like Keith
That
is,
cannon, man.
I think Keith is the first domino to fall, but I think they're at 25 years this year. 20 years of SNY this year, I believe, or 25. I think they maybe make it to 30 and call it, Keith goes, Ron stays for a couple years. Gary holds it down and passes it off to Nelson Figueroa, and we'll see what happens. But
Dan, you know what I'm excited about?
what are you excited about, Ray?
I'm excited about our community right here on Metcast. I'm looking at the numbers. We have almost 1,000 people live on this random live stream. I said, Dan, I'm missing it. He said, I'm missing it too. I said, I'm sick. He goes, I'm sick. I said, we got to do it. Do it for the boys and the gals, but mostly for the boys. So we're
Appreciate
here
it.
tonight on this beautiful weather night, willing our Mets to a victory. I feel it in my veins. Big hits coming this half inning.
If you weren't here when it was 2-0, don't be here when it's a 3-2 Mets win.
Oh, you could still be here, Dan. Shut the hell up. You could be no.
That's right. I'll go to bed, Ray. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm out of
I
here.
looked and Dan's on a space. They're going to bed.
That's right. Oh man.
And I must say, the ginger ale is doing nothing.
Eat some pretzels too, or something. You might be right.
That's what I was kind of trying to do.
Yeah.
Look at Klub, Mr. Positive. The Mets will come through and get it done. John Harper continues to kill the Mets over. I got to have him back on.
Definitely. We got to get John Harper back on. We got to get C-Mac back on for July 4th with the Yankees coming up.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have like a Salicata or Evan Roberts, like just, the NL East is over. I want to hear something.
We had Evan on one time.
Evan, yeah. But yeah, it's, some of these beat reporters too. I know that it's a very busy time with the season, but, All-Star break, maybe speak to Ragazzo again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I text with Ragazzo every once in a while. I can get him on.
I'm having lunch with Steve Cohen next week, so I'll ask him to get on the pod. So
let me know what Stevie Boy says.
Yeah, I will. Here's Beatty stepping up to the plate to begin the 8th. He walked, lined out to second.
Look at his OPS dropped to 708.
Hey.
It was like 800 last week.
No. Come on, babe.
I will say this: the Rockies have some good arms out of the bullpen. A couple guys with two ERAs.
Yeah.
He's at a 2.92. Oh, it is high. It is far. It's at the warning track. How many balls are going to the track tonight, Dan?
Brett Beatty just misses a home run.
CJ, I heard they're going to have open tryouts.
I might have to get my glove. It's this point.
Here's a question for the audience. because I got mixed reviews at the game. If you're sitting on the party deck like I was and you're a grown man, is it weird if you bring your baseball glove to the game?
No.
A lot of people were dogging guys there. I didn't bring mine, but
I don't care what age you are. You can bring a glove to a baseball game. You know,
bro, Alvarez with 1 home run. What? See, CJ says it's weird. See?
now, do I recommend if you're, 35?
Watch Dan with the switch up right here. What, Dan?
If you're 35 with kids, maybe, you kind of show off for them. But if you're just chilling and whatever, have a glove in your car type thing, sure.
As Alvarez gets blown away in 3 straight pitches, dude.
Yeah, he's been.
At what point do you say, you know what? We're sending you down. What point, Dan?
I don't think.
Guy's got an OPS. It's going to be in the 500s.
I think you just give Terens more opportunities. I don't know if it's you send him down and bring up Sanger or something like that. I mean,
just to clear his head. Sometimes that works.
You could.
Let the pressure come off because at this point you're pressing.
Yeah, I think he's proven it in the big leagues before, though. It wasn't like Anthony Volpe.
But it was 3 years ago.
I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
I don't care. Stanek was a dominant closer 3 years ago. He stinks this year. He's about to come in. This actually doesn't stink. I'll take that back. I will say this. He is a prime suspect to give up a long ball in this park. The lazy pop flies go out, and because he throws so hard and straight, you get harder contact.
Yeah. I'd be a little nervous putting him in Stanek.
2-1 to Mauricio. 3-1 to Mauricio. He's overthrown. I'm like this right now. You ain't swinging the bat, Mauricio. No way. And you could steal a bag.
Let's draw a walk here. Come on.
If he walks, he needs to try to steal. Oh, he's swinging.
Ball, left center field. Mauricio is his first big league hit.
Place is second. Mauricio in the second. Stand up double.
Let's go, baby. Snapping an 0 for 11, I believe.
And that's why the Mets brought up Mauricio, Dan, because you know why? He could hit the fastball. And he was sitting fastball there. I thought he got it out. Wow. I bet you that ball is well over 100 miles an hour.
Wow. Oh, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here. Ronnie Mauricio.
You are way too young to be loafing it. Look how big he is for a shortstop. My gosh.
Brandon Nimmo to bat with 2 outs.
104.5.
Thank you, Ray.
Look how many Met fans are there. All I see is orange all over the place from the hats.
It is unbelievable to see.
Another runner in scoring position, Dan.
Yeah, this is big. This is big for Nimmo. This is big for Marte. Turning the lineup over. You need to get a hit here. Nimmo takes it down and in 3-1.
Some guys don't like it when guys are on. And I see you guys over on Instagram. I got to go to a different tab to view your comments. So if you want to get involved in the conversation, head on over to YouTube. You can leave us a comment over there. We'll get read live on stream.
Yeah, I don't know why the Instagram doesn't pair up, guys. That's just StreamYard.
It's something with StreamYard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a meatball.
Yeah, I'd give a player like Nimmo the 3-1 green light, but
of course.
I don't know if he was giving himself the
Maybe
green
he
light.
was looking middle in there. I don't know.
Yeah, like he was right there.
3-2 and
Well, we know what he was looking for, and you were 100% right. Mets strand another.
Jeez, man. Lounge, I don't know if that's true, but check this out. That would have been a home run out of 29 of 30 parks, but not in Colorado.
Off Nemo's
Mauricio's
bat.
double.
Oh, Mauricio's bat.
I agree, Keith. What a horrible swing. Club, what happened? You were just pathetic, bro. You were just pathetic. You were just positive, bro. What was that, my friend? That was, I'm guessing, a pitch, and I didn't get it. Let's see if Harper updated. I'm sure he did.
Come on, guys. Let's will a Mets victory. All of us here at Metcast. Come on.
Shout out, big tweet from Dan Bartels. Ronnie Mauricio snaps the 0 for 11. You never know if that could get you going.
Let's go. Unfortunately, Nimmo came to bat and Nimmo struck out. So,
Ready? Here's a good stat for you. And it's even worse now after that, so it's a little lower. This season, runners in scoring position, Pete Alonso, 358. The rest of the Mets, 194. It's probably 190 now after that last at bat. Oof.
Ronnie Mauricio.
Brosman's getting the next half, right? I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Was Brosman always a 2-inning pitcher, even in Miami?
Yeah, he could pitch 2 innings. I mean, they might go Stanek too, but I don't think they would. It would probably be Brosman, and then we'll see.
Stanek scares the hell out of me here.
No, he does. He does.
He's a fly ball pitcher.
It is Stanek.
And Lindor's got his gloves on in the dugout.
Nature's healing, everybody. Stanek, nasty pitch going to the off speed. We haven't seen much of that. Well, that was the problem. He was throwing it too much, and then it was like, just go back to the fastball, man. And his stuff is so good, but you're right. He has to keep these guys off balance. He can't just throw fastballs all day.
Dan Bartels on the future strikeout call.
Yeah, God willing.
You almost didn't call it, Dan.
Was there a strikeout? You might be ahead of me.
No, it was 1-2.
Yeah, 1-2 right now. Jordan Beck. Stanek at the belt. Sets and fires. 1-2. Fastball fouled away.
That was right down Broadway. Oh, my God. What are we doing here?
As Zach Agnos gets ready in the Rocky bullpen for the 9th. Stanek's 1-2. Fastball taken up the middle for a base hit. Looked like
that was actually a slider that hung.
What? I don't think he has it probably was a slider that just was hanging too much.
Might have been a splitter that just hung there.
That changeup was running in. Something was running in on him, but great piece of hitting.
Shout out to Gorilla Glue.
Yeah. Takes it right back up the middle. And Beck is on with a single.
Look behind the dugout. You see him behind the Mets dugout? It was Mets. That's all I saw. That's the whole crowd.
Tyro Estrada digging in 0 for 3 on the night.
The Mets are finally starting to become a national brand where you go to away games and you see, a lot of fans there.
Yeah, Mets fans travel very well. Rockies fans too. It's a good amount of Rockies fans. Some good players in their day, of course. Great Larry Walker.
Yep. Todd Helton, always loved him growing up. I don't know why.
No, of course. Troy Tulowitzki. I mean,
Todd Helton got the biggest cheat out in the history of baseball. You know what I'm talking about, Dan?
Because
The throw to first base, he kneeled and caught the ball. He must have been 3 feet off the base. Oh, punch to right field. That's going to be trouble. Soto
over the
makes
reach
the
of
catch up
Soto.
against the wall. Soto fumbles it in right
You
field.
can't
He's going to
handle
let
it.
runners score. They hold him up for a second.
Beatty gets it in time. Strands the runners at
And no
second.
one's covering second. Come on. What is Mauricio doing there? What is Mauricio doing there? He's in no man's land. No one's covering second base.
See the replay here. Yeah, I don't know where he's going.
Soto dekes the guy at first base, but then he fumbles it. Watch this. But hits the cutoff man. No one's on second.
Yeah,
what is Mauricio standing on the pitcher's mound for?
Right. I don't know.
Look at him right there in the replay. That is infuriating. He's a natural shortstop. Watch Mauricio on the replay. Where is he going, Dan?
He's trying to line up a cut for third. I don't.
Why would you ever cut 3?
Yeah, he's not.
The play's at home.
I know. You got to go 2+. You got to go to second. That's high school baseball.
The mental errors on this team I don't understand sometimes. And I know a lot of fans are going to get on me about this, but the mental errors that happen on this team this year is unacceptable. And it happens 2 or 3 times a week. Guys don't cover the right bag. Guys aren't touching the base. Guys are getting thrown out on third base because they're sleeping while taking the lead like Marte the other day, which cost us the game against the Dodgers. It happens way too much. And some people might attribute it, Dan, which I understand, to young players. Marte's not a young player. Soto's not a young player. Lindor's not a young player. It's laziness. Unprepared. Very sick. I don't mean to go off like that. It's just beyond infuriating. Bad teams make these same mistakes time and time again.
I don't have words either. Again, Mauricio inexcusable. They'll ask him after the game. They'll ask Mendy after the game. I just chalk it up to inexperience. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but you got to be better.
He's a natural shortstop, though, and he's 24. It's not like he's some 20-year-old kid.
He has to know that.
And Stanek can't throw a strike. What did I say before he came in, Dan? He scares the hell out of me. And like always, honestly, Mendoza will always stick with his guy, no matter what. Won't take him out. The guy can't throw a strike, and now it's bases loaded.
I wouldn't be surprised too, Ray, if they pitched around him there. As crazy as that sounds, to bring up the
3-1. They threw a strike right down the middle.
Right. We'll bring up the struggling McMahon. You have a force at every base. And
a guy who can't throw a strike. Here we go.
Comebacker back to
turning Mr. Negative really quick.
I hear you. You got to be. There's certain times for it, and this is definitely one of them. If they lose this game, McMahon goes opposite way.
No!
Oh, what a play!
Brett Beatty.
What a play!
You're out. Wow. Brett Beatty, let's go.
Wow, Brett Beatty heads up play, smokes the inside out line drive off McMahon's bat and doubles up Beckett third.
Watch this replay. Brett Beatty snags a line drive, goes in for the tag. He didn't even have to tag. He could have stepped on the bag.
Heads up play.
But he still got him on the tag.
What a heads up play. Wow. And let's be honest. Hate to say it, but it's the first thought. Vientos is not making that play.
Don't you steal my line.
He's not. It's the perfect.
That was a Gold Glove type play right there.
That is heads up beyond belief. That is very well done.
Stanek's got to get out of this, man. Come on.
Oh, 100%. 100.
He's only had 15 pitches. It feels like he's been out there an hour.
Slider 0-2.
Guys, I'm sorry for eating on stream. It's like helping me with my throat.
Come on.
Yo, Beatty trucked that guy at third base. He had no shot at getting back.
You're not getting your hand back in. No way. All right, Stanek
waste by Alvey.
Yep, waste one. 2-2 game, bottom eighth, 2 runners on, 1-2 count.
Wow. Yes, Keith, I agree. Huge bat here. You can't lose to the Rockies.
Blown away with heat. Slider gets him, strike 3. Stanek pumped off the mound. The Mets strand 2, and this game goes to the 9th as a tied game, 2-2.
Let's go.
Wow. Brett Beatty's defense, Stanek's pitching. The Mets get out of that
The
jam.
Rockies just pulled the New York Mets.
Yeah, they did.
Back-to-back mental errors.
Yes, they did.
Bases loaded, no one out.
Wow.
Stanek better be buying Beatty dinner because let's be honest, that gets by, the game's over. That's 3 runs right there.
Definitely. This is it.
I'm shocked I haven't gotten the text from my wife. Quiet.
This is the sign of a winning team. It shouldn't be these sweat fests on Friday nights against bad teams. We've seen that trend for a couple Friday nights this year, but I get it.
On the Metcalf platform.
I definitely understand. But listen, a win is a win. We're not there yet, but these are the steps that get you towards a win.
We cannot lose this game after that.
Right. No, definitely not. It'd be one of those brutal losses for sure. I appreciate all the support, guys. Let's go Mets. Let's keep it going.
Jeez, it's almost 1,200 people in here.
Let's keep it going.
What a Friday night. We got to get this. Check the chat.
Friday night Mets. Let's go. Yeah, chat's going crazy. Let's go, guys.
Let's take a look at some of these chats. Time to bring back some positive. All this trouble with the Rockies. My God. Yeah. Jose, I know. But look, let's be real. They've won a few games lately. When are the Mets going to acquire another bat from Richard? I don't think anytime soon. It might be at the trade deadline, but excuse me. It all depends who's available, too. Where are your openings right now, Dan? Right field. You have Soto. Left field. You have Nimmo. You have Lindor. You have Alonso. Third base you could potentially look at. Second base you could potentially look at. They're not going catcher. I don't know why, but I really feel they're pretty sold on Tyrone Taylor and Jose Siri in center field, even though I would love to see that upgraded. But you're a little limited where you're going to upgrade. Excuse me. Look, another guy with a 1.5 ERA. The Rockies throw out all these crazy kids.
Right.
Of course, Keith right away goes, nice mustache. Are you listening to the game or no?
No, I'm just visually watching, and I should have an AirPod in, but
I do because it helps the immersion. No,
sure, definitely. And I think a lot of the stuff with do we need to add a big bat? I think that time will come. Ray said it perfectly. I think the trade deadline, if anything, because Taylor gives you. It's again, we were looking at the
that
OPS.
Was a brutal strikeout. Sorry, Dan. God.
Oh, that was bad. We were looking at the OPSs, like comparing Jarren Duran to Tyrone Taylor. It's clearly a difference, like of 100 points.
150 points.
Yeah, it's a lot. So there's clearly an upgrade that needs to be made. But
look at this.
Yeah, Brett Beatty and Stanek.
You know what? Respect for that. Because that's a veteran. He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, that's
You know
awesome.
what I mean?
No, 100%. So, yeah, I don't know who the big bat will be, but, I always go back to the Mets don't really need a big bat. I don't know if we do yet. And it sounds so crazy to say, but the Mets are winning games. If they lose a game like this, sure. You could cite it and say, all right, there's examples, but, we'll see.
Oh, bad swing by.
I think Winker's going to help a lot, and I know you don't want to hear it, but I think him and Siri, once they're back, it's just going to be.
The issue is, I want a legit 5-hitter behind Alonso. Teams are going to start pitching him differently when Jeff McNeil, Winker, or those types of guys are behind him. He needs some protection in the lineup. Look, every postseason, you see it happen with Judge. You need protection in these lineups. And that's what's going to take this team. Listen, I understand Stearns is not going to go out there and spend crazy on a front-end starter. I'm fine with that. Get a legitimate bat in this lineup.
Would you
disagree? Let me know.
Would you put Nimmo back in the 5 hole?
No, I thought he was awful in the 5 hole. The stats don't back it. I think he's doing perfect in the 2 hole.
Right. Soto, another base hit.
Soto
Same,
again.
just like the first inning. He's unbelievable. Mets have the leadoff run on in the 9th. Let's go, guys. Boom.
Uh-oh. Big stick, Pete.
Yeah, last year it was this. Now it's this.
Now imagine last year's Mark Vientos was hitting behind Pete right now. He's going to get better pitches to hit.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah, I like this year's celebration too better, guys. Yeah.
Oh, you're seeing it in the chat?
Just looking at
Can you pull the chat up?
Lounger. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I highlight over
hover your mouse over the chat. Do you see where it says show?
See, it doesn't do that for me. I don't know. I think that might be array
Can
capable.
you star it?
I don't even think it allows me to do that. Come
I'll
on,
screen record and show it to you.
Yeah, come on.
You used StreamYard before on your side, right?
Definitely.
1-1, that's inside.
We see the comments, guys. We got you. Come on, Pete.
I can't believe I'm this pumped for a freaking Rockies game. Let's go.
I know.
2-1.
That was a pitch, Pete.
That was a good pitch. That was borderline strike inside, but it had the plate.
Yeah, but Aaron Judge takes that pitch 400 feet. I'm not gonna make Pete Aaron Judge here, but come on, 2-2 count.
2-2.
Nice. Way to lay off. Yeah, Pete's done a great job over the course of his career laying off those outside pitches. He's gotten a lot better. He's still susceptible, and we saw it earlier in this game, to the ones upstairs.
Especially against the hard throwers.
Yeah.
So he's sitting fastball. Let's see. You know you're getting the cheese here. Inside. See, Dan, that's what I'm talking about. If I'm the Rockies, I'm pitching him carefully. I got McFeeble behind him, who's really no home run threat. You play the outfield a little deep. Soto's not that fast of a guy. Base hit is not an automatic run here. I'm pinch hitting Lindor. If he's available,
he's looking. He's watching.
He wants it. Look at him.
Yeah, he's waiting. He's saying, "Put me in, coach."
What hitter doesn't want to hit at Coors Field, people? Let's be honest.
Yeah, right. No, literally. And that was the case against a guy like Todd Helton for the Hall of Fame, was people were saying his numbers were juiced because of Coors Field. Like, guys, he still had to hit the baseball. I don't care about park factor. That's why we have park weighted stats. And Todd Helton's park weighted stats were right up there with the best in the game. So, Diaz getting ready for the 9th.
That's to say the least. Gary goes, it's been a rough year for Jeff with runners in scoring position. He's hitting like what, $120?
Yeah, you think?
I agree, Klub. Imagine if Pete went elsewhere. If he was in Toronto right now, we'd be in real trouble.
Don't even get me started with that. Yeah.
Breaking news. Jeff McNeil did not swing at the first pitch. He wanted to. He checked it. He did not go.
Right.
Are you taking a strike here?
I'm not.
Now McNeil. Oh, he crushes it in his high.
Center field.
Morning track power, like always.
Squeezes it. Soto tags and goes to third.
Dude, I'll never forget when I heard McNeil talk about lifting the ball in spring training. What a disaster. Now we're using Lindor. See, that's what ticks me off. Mendy, it was when McNeil's up with 1 out.
I got some.
Who's he pinch hitting for?
Tyrone Taylor.
Which means Jared Young's going to go in afterwards, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Would you walk him? Would you intentionally walk him here?
No. I'd go after
I went
Lindor.
with Beatty on deck.
First at bat to load the bases, though, in the ninth. I mean,
a run, the game's over anyways, pretty much.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Pick your poison.
I
got
know.
a guy who's probably top 10 in MVP voting right now up at the plate. All right. Oh. I wonder if Lindor was taking hacks in the cage below the stadium. Like, hey, be ready.
Sure. I think he knew from the jump today when he woke up that there was a real chance he'd get to play.
No,
Let's go, Lindor. Let's go.
Kudos in.
Let's
He's
go.
lays around to throw the relay in.
Man.
He is out by there. He's safe. Pete Alonso with the swim to put the Mets up 4-2 in the top of the ninth.
Oh,
Francisco
man.
Lindor, Dan.
Hole as a pinch hitter, too. Wow. I don't even have words.
This whole place is full of Mets fans. By the way, Dan, if you're listening to it sounds like a home game.
Sure. I would bet. Let's go. And now you have Diaz with a 2-run cushion. That's unbelievable.
Rockies are challenging the play at the plate. I think he might have gotten in there.
Francisco, he's unbelievable. I thought the throw beat Pete.
The throw definitely beat him, but Pete did that swim move. He came around the base. Let's see.
Oh,
he's safe.
Safe.
He's in there.
Safe.
Colorado's probably just saying we got to challenge it. You know what I mean? And they're pinch hitting. Look at the dugout.
Come on. That's hype. Makes you feel good on a Friday night, right, everybody? That's great.
Never a doubt here.
I mean, Lindor pinch hitting off the bench.
Right, chat? Never a doubt.
Broken pinky toe.
Watch this overhead. Oh, he's in.
This is why you stay up.
What a slide.
Pete. Yeah, where would we be without Pete Alonso, right? Everybody who sat here, and it gets me, if you want to get me upset very quickly, we talk about all the fans that turned on Pete this offseason, but that's a different subject for another day. Man, 4-2, Mets up in the ninth, and they're still challenging this. It's like, do you really need to see any more?
It's got to be so definitive.
I could see it on that one angle every single time, Pete.
Yep. Right there, safe.
Yeah, safe. Got the fingers.
Here we go.
Yep.
Safe.
Let's go. Make Pete a Met for life, man.
Let's go. W's in the chat. Let's go.
Let's go.
So what's the move here? Who's going to center? Is it Young?
Probably, yeah, you could do Young. You could do McNeil.
You could forfeit Marte as a DH.
You could move Nimmo to center or McNeil to center and then keep Nimmo on left, or do one or the other and then put Acuna.
That's the move. McNeil to center, Acuna to second.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys. This cough catches me off.
I wish you could still move Nimmo to center, but, probably McNeil to.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, Pete's loving it. Let's go. That's like gives you vibes when he scored in the NLCS and Winker was right there and he gives you that at home plate. That's awesome, man.
Hey, let's get another one. 2-0 to Beatty.
Hold on, guys.
You know who's excited right now?
Oh.
Stanek. He's in line for the win.
Yeah, right.
Beatty takes it down in the dirt, 3-0. As Danny shows off his Alonso jersey.
Sir. Come on, guys.
You know what I don't think, and it might be a little controversial. 3-0 to Beatty takes a strike down the middle. I wonder about Lindor and Soto's relationship.
Me too.
Like, that's a relationship I want to see blossom.
Yep. I want to see.
Looks like he's running in slow motion. I will say this. If this was 10 years ago and to play at the plate and Pete's got to roll over the catcher, he might kill somebody.
Right.
That's a big boy coming downhill.
Mm-hmm. And the relationship stuff, that's an interesting, because I've talked about it with you. I don't care if these guys get along. I don't care if they're best friends or not, but I would like to see the relationship, because we saw it with Judge and Soto. He was smiling all the time, and I think him and Pete can get to that point. Same thing with Lindor, but
Well, Soto wanted Pete here. That was a big thing. Remember, he said, I want Pete here. 3-2.
Yep.
80 fouls it off, but he specifically said he wanted Pete Alonso in this lineup behind him for protection. And good.
It was a narrative too. At one point, they were trying to force Pete out because he didn't fit in the locker room, and it was Soto who was saying, I don't really, but that clearly never happened.
Right.
Come on, Beatty.
3-2 to Beatty. Let's see what we got here. And he swings at a ball that's a foot out inside.
All right, on to the ninth.
That's right.
Let's go.
I was trying to see how Lindor ran to second.
When it's cold outside, I got the month of May.
Big goes, nice slide by the big guy. Absolutely.
I guess you'd say.
Mount says, nice freaking call by the ump. How did he see that? Well, great positioning. He was right on top of the play right there.
What?
Most umpires you'll see will back away, and they get blocked there.
Do you mind if I play this, Ray, into the stream just one more time so we can remember this big moment in Mets history? So here we go, Francisco Lindor's double, the audio.
Nice on the year for Francisco. He drives one down the right field line. That's a base hit going to the wall. Soto is in. Alonso digging for third. He's going to be waved around. The relay thrown to the plate by Estrada. He slides and he's safe. Oh, wow.
What a call. Courtesy of SNY, of course.
Yes, what a call.
So I don't get thrown off YouTube. I always remember to say that.
Brought to you by the New York Mets and SNY. That's awesome.
What a great win this would be. Gotta finish it off. Shout out to everybody over on X, 1,000 people just on the X platform. Who would have known? They got to be able to make it where you could collab over on X.
Yeah, I know. They gotta figure that out. Instagram does a great job of collabing, and shout out Mets coverage too, run by our buddy James. Go give him a shout out as well. Yeah, it's good stuff over there.
He's got a great page there. A lot of hits, 19 hits throughout the game and only 6 runs.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out Beatty. What a play. Play of the game.
He struck out Doyle. Doyle, who misplayed that ball. Was it Saturday when I was there with Pat?
Yep.
Yep.
Your seats for that were awesome for the Soto home run too. You were right.
Yeah, the party deck right there. I was actually going to record the home run, and my phone froze, so I swiped out of the camera, and by the time I got back, he hit it.
For the party deck, did they have like select spots? Like, could you have run down to try to go get that ball?
Yeah, it's open. It's open.
Yeah.
Not cheap, though, I'll tell you that. But the party deck does come with all food, beverages, alcohol. So they did exactly what we said, Acuna and McNeil. I don't drink alcohol, so I just,
Yeah, Ray's a good
Out of
Ray's,
soda.
Ray's good with that.
Hey,
No,
I
you-
don't begrudge anybody. It's just not my thing.
no, definitely.
Keith Hernandez just says it's one of the best games of the year. Let's not
Yeah,
make any more eventful. Throw strikes, Edwin.
that's right. Mets Rockies game of the year. And Soto directed Pete. Yeah, love it.
I wonder if the players care at the 90% of the stadiums for the away team.
Well, I know.
Bro, look behind right now. Look behind the batter. It's all Met fans.
I think Net fans know what that's like when Steph Curry comes to town and 90% of Barclays is Warriors fans.
Michael goes, Bray was killing the Coca-Colas. I actually, believe it or not, I very rarely ever drink soda anymore.
I'm with you on that. You know, maybe an occasional Dr. Pepper or something, but
Only time I really drink soda is if I have ginger ale when I'm sick.
right.
Sit down as Diaz gets the strikeout.
No vodka Red Bull or something, you know.
Vodka Red Bull. Red Bull.
Just give me a James Bond martini and we're good. No, I'm kidding. That's the thing. Like people too, like people don't drink nowadays. That's kind of like the new norm, honestly. It's better for you, you know, for me.
Yeah, of course.
Way
A
better.
lot of heart disease, high cholesterol. A lot of it's related to that.
Get a lot of that from watching the Mets too. So, you know.
Oh, they'll try to do it, right?
Diaz, 98. Blows it by Hilliard, 1-1 count. Mets
One
up.
dog says, my captain, my captain, my captain.
Oh,
I actually say it all the time on X. And I hear people saying, well, he's our captain. Why are you always saying my captain? I'm like, relax, buddy.
you know.
I would like to, Diaz, to get through this. 15, 16 pitches. I would like to see him available for tomorrow. 1-2. What time's tomorrow's game?
9:30.
Ah,
Mm-hmm. Gonna be a late one.
maybe we'll do another watch party. This has been a lot of fun.
Sure.
Tomorrow I'll be home with the babes. Wife's
Mm-mm.
going to a baby shower. Have fun, honey.
Have fun, definitely.
If she's watching, have fun. Feels nice. I'll go to Swish Splash tomorrow. A lot of you people have been to Swish Splash. That's right up my neck of the neighborhood. 2-2. Ground ball to Pete. Takes it himself. 2 dead.
I bet, Pete. Final out. The Rockies down to it here in the 9th. Francisco Lindor, the hero. Brett Beatty, the unbelievable play. Diaz in line for the save. Stanek in line for the win. Senga was unbelievable. Pete Alonso was unbelievable.
Save it for the post game, Dan.
That's right. Yeah, we're just teasing you here, but yeah, it's all good stuff.
Strike one. You know, if Colorado was thinking they're going to get a game, it was this game.
Right. Oh,
Soto.
ball game.
Put it in the books.
Great win, everybody. What a game. Wasn't easy. A lot of Mets fans showed out to Coors Field tonight. A lot of Mets fans showed out and watched it with us live. So we appreciate you, Francisco Lindor, the hero. Pinch hits for Tyrone Taylor. The Mets do their kick celebration. Ronnie Mauricio, obviously some struggles, but he'll get past it. Marte continues to hit. Soto continues to hit. Beatty continues to flash the leather. And Pete Alonso continues to be the driving force of the New York Mets in 2025. Where would we be without Pete Alonso, everybody? So what
That's right.
Amazing Friday night.
So let's get into some of these scores around the league to check in. The Phillies lose to the Pittsburgh Pirates 5-4. Yankees win 9-6 over the Red Sox. Marlins lose to the Rays 4-3. So another important game that could be important to us. The Tigers defeat the Cubs 3-1. See what else we got going on here. The Braves are losing 4-2 in the top of the sixth to the Giants. So the Mets could conceivably, if everything holds still, pick up a game on both the Braves and the Phillies tonight, which, let's be honest, they should have done that yesterday as well, Dan, but they fall short. But today, what a good win this is. And Lindor runs out of the dugout to do the kick celebration with everybody. I don't see Soto in the kick celebration, but he might have been celebrating with the outfielders.
Yeah. What a game. And these are games where we look at and say, it shouldn't be this tough to beat the Colorado Rockies. But then you remind yourself that, listen, this is not the A's of last year. This is not the White Sox of last year. They're a bad team, and they're historically bad, but they're still going to put up a fight. And we've seen it against the Yankees. We've seen it now against the Mets. They put up a really good fight tonight, but the Mets fought harder, and they got the big hit finally with runners in scoring position. So
three hits from Soto, 2 hits from Marte, 1 from Pete, 1 from McNeil, 1 from Lindor, the big one from Lindor, 1 from Alvarez, 1 for Mauricio. Well, that's what I like. What I didn't like in the game, the 0 for 5 from Brandon Nimmo, the 0 for 3 by Tyron Taylor, and the 0 for 4 from Brett Beatty, who did have a crucial walk and that defensive play, which we don't get that inning unless Brett Beatty does what he did, Dan.
Yeah. You can't make that kind of play unless you know what you're doing defensively. That play doesn't happen naturally. You don't run into a play like that. Brett Beatty knows how to play the hot corner. And you could even make the case he knows how to play better than Mauricio at this point. I think that's clearly in play. I think Brett Beatty has the position. I thought they'd give it to Mauricio the way that they did, but I don't think they are at this point. I mean, he still has to show you that he can hit. I would expect Mauricio to DH a couple of games, maybe play a little bit of second base. You can't play him at shortstop much longer with Lindor coming back. So it's really between Beatty and Mauricio, and I think Beatty still has the edge. So Mauricio needs to figure out what's going on with his swing. And I think
Acuna is finally being relegated to that bench role. I think the starter kind of thing is kind of out the window as of right now. Not saying he can't be that eventually, but let's see what the Mets plan for him. Maybe they give him a shot at center field, something like that, but he's not putting the ball in play enough to be a consistent starter at the major league level. Obviously, they could use him late in game. The defensive replacement, the big pinch runner guy. He does add value to this team besides his bat, which, look, we're so used to some of these star players coming up and being not dominant, but very good right away. You look at Jackson Chourio with the Brewers, the success, the Jared Durans, all these guys. Even go back, the Aaron Judges, the Sanchez's, those types of guys, even Pete. But Acuna is like 2 years younger than most of these guys when they first come up. Pete was 24. Judge was 24. Sanchez was 24. Duran was 25? You know what I mean? So Beatty's 25. So he's a lot younger. That bat still has some maturing to do, learning that discipline in the strike zone. But that's what's so good about Acuna is he provides through those other aspects of the game. He can play an elite level defensive type game, be that pinch runner, and he looks like a glue guy. The guys are having fun with him in the dugout. We saw the catcher's equipment stuff going on yesterday or day before, whatever it was. So hopefully this team continues to gel. We're now 40-24, I believe. 18 games over 500. Well,
first national team to 40 wins too.
Yep. Let's see if the standings are updated. Let's see. Usually it goes right away. National League. So not yet. So we'll open tomorrow if the Braves game holds, they'll be 12 games out at 27-35. The Phillies will now have fallen 3 games behind, and I believe they'll be 2-8 over their last 10. The Mets improved to 8-2 over their last 10, 40-24. The Phillies fall to 37-26. I don't know if that's from today's score or not. So it's either 2.5 or 3, but that's what's excited. Klub, I'll be doing that. And as soon as we get off of here, I'll draw the winner. So I'm not able to access everything right now, but I will be drawing it right as we get off of here. Dan, any final words as we wrap things up in this post game? And I want to thank you guys. We had, between ins and outs of people, over 2,000 people join the live stream today. And we appreciate it. We're fans just like you. That's what we are. We don't pretend we're anything more. We enjoy chatting with you guys, watching the chat. And all we ask you to do is leave us a thumbs up. Any final thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, definitely leave us a thumbs up. Thank you guys for everything. Everybody showed out. We'll be back tomorrow. Mets get a gutsy win tonight. It wasn't easy, but they played fairly well. And I think we all can go to bed happy knowing that. So until tomorrow, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend and let's go Mets.
That's right. As always, let's go Mets.
Go
The drawing
Mets.
will be in like 5 minutes, I promise. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Peace.